The harsh fluorescent lights of the hospital hallway flickered above Alia's head, making her already pounding headache worse. She sat hunched on the metal bench, her shawl pulled tightly around her shoulders, rocking her baby boy gently as he whimpered against her chest. His tiny breaths were shallow, his skin pale. She forced herself to look at the paper in her lap again, the hospital bill. The number at the bottom stared at her like a cruel taunt. 8 million Pakistani rupees. She let out a strangled laugh, one that turned into a sob. That much money might as well have been a mountain she was expected to lift. Her baby needed heart surgery. Without it, the doctors had said, he wouldn't survive. Alia's lips trembled. She worked double shifts at the diner down the street, barely making enough to cover rent and formula. She had no parents to call, no savings hidden away, no rich relatives who could swoop in to help. All she had was a cousin who occasionally lent her small amounts when she begged enough. Her hands shook as she pulled out her old, cracked phone. She scrolled through her contacts, eyes blurring with tears. Maybe, just maybe, her cousin would pick up this time. She took a picture of the bill with trembling fingers. Then she typed out the message, her desperation spilling into every word. Please, I beg you. My baby's surgery can't wait. I'll work for you my whole life if I have to, just don't let him die. I'll pay back every rupee, I swear it. Her thumb pressed send before she lost the courage. The little check mark appeared, and Alia sank against the wall, clutching her son closer. But minutes passed, then 10, then 15, no reply. Her heart twisted painfully in her chest. She had poured her last ounce of dignity into that message, and still, silence was her only answer. Then, her phone buzzed. A new message. She snatched it up, expecting her cousin's familiar name. But instead, it was from an unknown number. She frowned, confused, until her eyes landed on the words. Unknown number. $2 million has been wired to the hospital under your name. I'm on my way. Alia blinked. Her mouth fell open. What? Her first thought was that this had to be some cruel scam. Someone playing with her misery. Who in the world would send that much money? She couldn't even imagine $2 million. She was about to delete the message when footsteps pounded down the hall. The hospital accountant, usually so cold and strict, came rushing toward her with wide eyes. Miss Alia, he asked, nearly out of breath. Yes, she whispered, holding her baby tighter. He looked at her like he had just seen a miracle. The payment, your bill, everything has been covered. $2 million was transferred directly to the hospital fund under your name. Alia's world tilted. She gripped the bench to keep from collapsing. What did you say? It's true, he insisted, waving a paper in the air. The surgeons have been notified. Preparations for your son's operation are already being made. He will get the surgery immediately. The words hit her like sunlight breaking through the darkest storm. Her knees buckled, and she sank to the floor, tears streaming down her face. Relief, so sharp and sudden, made her dizzy. Her baby would live. She buried her face in his tiny chest, whispering broken prayers of gratitude. But as the shock began to fade, one thought burned in her mind. Who had done this? Who had sent that message? Her phone buzzed again. The same unknown number. Unknown number. Stay where you are. I'll find you. Alia's chest tightened with fear and confusion. She looked around the crowded hallway, searching for a clue, a face she might recognize. And then the sliding glass doors at the hospital entrance opened. The air shifted instantly, as though the entire building took notice of the man walking in. Tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in a sharp dark suit that seemed completely out of place among the chaos of the hospital, he walked with a confidence that made people step aside without a word. His polished shoes echoed against the tiles, his presence commanding attention like gravity itself. His eyes swept the hallway once, just once, before landing squarely on her. Alia's breath caught. Her heart stuttered violently in her chest. She knew that face. She would know it anywhere. It was Zion Malik, the ruthless young billionaire whose empire stretched across half the country. The man whose face graced magazine covers, whose name was whispered with awe and envy. But to Alia, he was something else. He was the man she had once loved with every beat of her. Alia's pulse thundered in her ears as Zion Malik closed the distance between them. Every step he took seemed heavier, slower, louder. She clutched her baby protectively, her body tensing like a cornered bird. When he finally stopped in front of her, she forced herself to meet his gaze. Those stormy gray eyes, once the source of her happiest memories, now felt dangerous. Zion, she whispered, her voice breaking. His jaw tightened, but when his eyes dropped to the tiny boy in her arms, something shifted. His expression cracked, and for the first time, she saw something raw and unguarded flicker across his face. "Tell me," he said quietly, his voice deeper than she remembered, "he's mine, isn't he?" The words slammed into her chest. She shook her head quickly, her eyes burning. "No, you can't just walk in here and demand answers. You have no right." Zion's gaze hardened, though his voice stayed calm. "Alia, I just paid for his life. You think I did that for charity?" Her lips trembled. "I didn't ask you to. It was a mistake. I didn't mean to text you. I thought I was begging my cousin for help. I never wanted." Her voice broke, and she hugged the baby tighter. "I never wanted you to see us like this." Zion crouched slightly, trying to catch her eyes. "Alia, look at me." She refused, tears spilling down her cheeks. "Alia," he said again, more firmly. Reluctantly, she lifted her gaze. He reached out a hand but stopped short of touching her. His fingers hovered near the baby, trembling slightly. "How old is he?" "7 months," she whispered. Zion closed his eyes, a sharp breath escaping him. 7 months, he repeated, as if memorizing it. "Which means," his eyes flew open, burning into hers. "You were already carrying him when you left." Alia flinched. Memories she had buried deep clawed their way back. The day she had walked out of his penthouse, humiliated and broken after his family's scathing rejection of her. "She's not your equal, Zion. She'll drag you down. End it before she ruins everything." "I had no choice," she whispered, her voice trembling. "Your world, it wasn't mine. I couldn't raise a child there. Not with people who looked at me like I was dirt." Zion's expression darkened. "You think I cared what they thought? You think any of them matter more than this?" His hand gestured toward the child, his voice raw. "You chose them once," she snapped, bitterness slipping through her tears. "You chose your empire, your reputation, over me." The hallway around them had gone eerily silent. Nurses, patients, and staff stood frozen, watching the confrontation like a scene out of a film. Zion ignored the stares. He leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Maybe I was a fool then. But I won't make that mistake again. Not when it's about my son. Not when it's about you." Her heart thudded painfully. She wanted to believe him, wanted to melt into his words, but the scars of the past held her back. "I don't need your pity," she whispered. "I've survived this long without you. I can keep surviving." Zion's jaw clenched. "This isn't pity, Alia. This is responsibility. This is," his voice cracked slightly, the mask of control faltering. "This is me realizing I almost lost both of you today." She gasped softly, stunned by the vulnerability in his tone. Zion Malik, the untouchable billionaire known for his ruthless business deals, was looking at her with pleading eyes. He finally reached out, gently brushing a finger against the baby's tiny hand. The infant stirred, curling his fist around Zion's finger instinctively. Zion's breath hitched. His shoulders shook faintly as he whispered, "He's perfect. Just like you." Alia bit her lip, unable to hold back her sobs. The baby's grip on him felt like fate itself pulling them together. Zion lifted his eyes to hers again, determination burning in them. $2 million won't erase what happened. It won't buy forgiveness, but it will give our son a future. And I promise you this, Alia, I will give him more than money. I will give him my name, my protection, my love. I will give you everything I should have given years ago." Her chest heaved with conflicting emotions. "And what if I can't trust you again? Then let me earn it," he said simply. "One day at a time. For him. For us." Alia stared at him, torn between fear and hope. For years, she had dreamed of hearing those words, only to tell herself they were impossible. Yet here he was, kneeling before her, their son's tiny hand anchoring them together. Maybe, just maybe, fate had not been cruel after all. Maybe sending that desperate message to the wrong number wasn't a mistake. It had been destiny, guiding her back to the man she once thought was lost forever. Heart, the man who had broken her when their worlds tore them apart. And now, he was walking straight toward her.